The Dallas Mavericks take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to break down the spread, the total, and we'll talk about a few props. Thanks for joining. I'm Andy from WagerTalk.com. Let's take a look at the WagerTalk live odds page. We have the Timberwolves as a 4-point favorite at home. Total is 206. If you haven't been using the WagerTalk live odds page, make sure you check that out. Up-to-date live odds. It's free on the WagerTalk homepage. Very, very valuable asset. If you haven't been using it, make sure you check that out. So let's take a look at some of the stats here. And for me, the biggest thing that I am looking at going into this series is the rebounding. And the reason is because that was the Mavericks' huge advantage over the Thunder, and that was, to me, the deciding deal in that series. When we look at the 4 wins for the Dallas Mavericks against the Thunder, they out-rebounded them every game, and the last 2 wins, they out-rebounded them by 16 and 13. They're not going to have that same success against the Timberwolves, and so I think the Timberwolves kind of have a really nice answer for what got the Mavericks here. Luka should be a little bit more healthy in this series. He looked a little bit better the last couple games of the series. He went for 31 and 29 points. Get a few days rest before he faces the Timberwolves. So I think you're getting Luka, who's a little bit more healthy. The other concern that I would have if I'm a Timberwolves fan is when you watched how the Thunder guarded Luka, they had Dort and they had some physical bodies that they could throw at them. I'm not really sure Jaden McDaniels is the perfect guy to guard Luka. He's long, but he's not as bulky. And I think Luka's going to have some success kind of backing him down. I think it's going to force the double teams. So I look for Luka to be a scorer at times if they don't get to the double team. But if they do get a double team on Luka, there's basically nobody better in the NBA. So I'm going to look at assist props for him. I think these two defenses are great. When you look at where they rank in the playoffs, you look at the defensive rating. Orlando Magic ranks number 1. The Thunder ranks number 2. Celtics 3. And then you've got the Timberwolves sitting there at 4. And you got the Mavericks at 6. So these are 2 great defensive teams, which gives us a very, very low total at 206. And in game 1, I think this is going to be a little bit of a feeling out process, especially to start. And I think this is kind of lend itself to an under, kind of a rock fight type of game. The complete opposite of what we saw in the Pacers and the Celtics. So it's not that strong of a play. It's just very much more of a lean at 206 to take the under. All we need is one team to really struggle from the field. And when we got these 2 teams that are great at defense, I think we can kind of depend on one team to not quite get there. These are also not the fastest paced teams. Dallas Mavericks are 9th in pace, and the Minnesota Timberwolves are 10th. So these are not teams that get up and down the court. Also, they do not turn the ball over a lot, so I don't think you're going to see a lot of big transition baskets. So the under 206 is how I would lean for the total. For the spread, I think it's dialed in. If I'm expecting a low-scoring game, to me that means the points are a little bit more valuable than a real high-scoring game. I think Minnesota wins the series. I think they've got a little bit too much explosion on the perimeter, and I just think that the rebounding advantage that the Dallas Mavericks depended on and needed in the last series just isn't going to be there. I think Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert are just going to neutralize Gafford and Lively. I like Gafford. I like Lively. But this is just a different beast when you're rebounding over Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, who just don't have the size and the muscle down low. So Gobert could be a liability at times, especially if they figure out a way to stretch him. But he's proved himself very, very useful. Listen, he struggled against Jokic. Who doesn't? Name one guy who's shut down Jokic. Nobody. So I think Gobert is going to be a pretty valuable piece. I've noticed that they put his points, rebounds, and assists at 27.5, which is insanely high. If you're looking for a player prop, I would take that under every game. He's gone over only one time in the last 7 games. So I would not be looking at Rudy Gobert to have a lot of points, but his rebounding, his defense is going to be key. So what do we do with the spread? I'm going to lean ever so slightly to the Minnesota Timberwolves, coming off the huge wins against Denver and that crazy win to close out the series. I'm looking at the Timberwolves to come out with confidence, especially at home. And I think the Dallas Mavericks are just going to be just a half step behind. I was not impressed with what Kyrie did on offense. They're going to need him to score more. This isn't the Oklahoma City Thunder team that offers very little resistance once you get inside the paint. This is a Timberwolves team that can absolutely stack the paint and stack on the perimeter. And I like the Timberwolves to win the series, and I like them to come out strong and get a confident game one. So I do like the Timberwolves to cover at -4. I like the total under a little bit. We talked about a couple player props. Rudy Gobert under his points, rebounds, and assists. I would look at Luka under 29.5 points. And I would actually look at Luka over 8.5 assists. I think he's really going to be a facilitator. If I'm the Timberwolves, he's obviously the guy I want to focus on, and I would prefer to make him a passer rather than watch him back down the guards and get those easy little 10 to 15 foot shots close to the basket. So I like over 8.5 assists. Luka's flown over this total in the last 3 games. I don't expect the alley-oops to be there like they were in the last series, but this is a Mavericks team with PJ Washington, even Derek Jones at times got really hot from three-pointers. So I like Luka to go over his assists as one of my favorite props in this one. Rudy Gobert under. And then if you're a parlay better, like I am, you can take a look at some of these little bit more obscure guys and some of their props that are a little bit heavier juice. They're around the -180 to -200. Josh Green, just to hit 1 3-pointer. He seems to do this every game. I believe he's done this in 9 out of 10 games. Derek Jones, to have an assist, he's done that in 9 straight games. So if you're looking for parlay pieces, I think those are really, really good. If you don't mind laying the juice, you just play those every single game. They've hit at an incredible rate, so you're certainly profitable if you've been playing those over the last 15 to 20 games. So a little bit of obscure props, but if you're parlay better like myself, those are really, really valuable. If you guys are enjoying the gambling content, please hit the like button and leave us a comment. Tell us who you like tonight. This is a great series. Based on what I saw from the Celtics and the Pacers, I would say whoever comes out of this series is probably going to be the favorite in the NBA Finals. So let us know who you think is going to win. Let me know if you got any player props that I haven't mentioned on the show. Always love hearing about it. And if you have not subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel, go ahead and do that now. We've got a lot of content coming out for MLB. Myself, we just put out the golf video called Tea Time. We do that every week for the different golf videos. So you can get every sport. We'll have UFC breakdown videos next week as well. And if you want to go to my page, you can get a free article on the golf tournament, as well as all free plays in MLB, NBA, NHL. And we are coming off a really nice 2-0 night. We actually hit a prop in MLB. And we had a prop in the WNBA. That's right. The WNBA is off and running, and I'm looking forward to a really good season with props. We're not going to be high volume in props in the WNBA. That was actually our first one of the year, but it cashed, so we're looking really good. And you can find all plays of mine at WagerTalk.com, Andy Lang, WT.buzz/AL. The big play we have up right now is a 4% cross-sport parlay. These have been a big, big source of income for us and for clients. We are 11-4 in our last 15 plays. You can grab that. I've attached another play as well to that one. So that play goes off on Thursday morning. Make sure you grab that. Andy Lang, WagerTalk.com. The cross-sport parlays have just been fantastic for us, and we've got a 4% going. We don't do many of these, but we are 6-3 over the last year in our 4% cross-sport parlays. Take advantage of that over at WagerTalk.com. That's going to do it for us. Again, make sure you hit the like button, leave us a comment, tell us who you like for tonight. Let us know any props that you like, and don't forget to grab that 4% cross-sport parlay. Andy Lang at WagerTalk.com. Good luck on your place. We'll see everyone later.